Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Carlos out here. Just got done getting a car wash, about to head and get my tires changed. Nice Sunday. We finally got decent weather. It's been on and off, man. This thing it's been crazy weather. So I don't know. Look, I'm in the car a lot. I'm always traveling, going to project sites, looking at sites, back and forth to meetings. So I think I'm going to do a lot of these videos from the car. So I don't know. We'll call it car sense. Something. We'll call it something weird. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, I just wanted to kind of just touch bases. Sunday's a beautiful day out. Really enjoying this weather. It's about maybe 50, 60 degrees. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because I was trying to figure out, okay, I'm trying to figure out when to wear what and what's the right time, and look, man, it's all part of a learning process, right? So I, just like anything else, right? You're learning, and so nothing wrong with that. So for me, bought this new inspiration, which is called from the Dua brand, DUA. I've heard a lot about them. I checked them out, and at first I was like, I don't know. I wasn't convinced because of the price. They sell smaller bottles. Apparently, higher concentration, which is good. I mean, I get it. So and I read a lot of comments, and apparently very beast mode, very high performance, great performance. So I said, all right, let me just buy one. Let me check it out. It's not expensive. It's buy on the weekends. Do not buy during the week. On the weekends, they always have a sale, or around holidays, they always have a sale, 30% off, 25% off. Never buy during the week, okay? This is the Dua brand, Dua fragrances. So what I do like, I'm trying to find, look, as I'm learning my journey, I'm trying to find who does what best. So there are certain perfume houses that, inspiration-based houses, affordable versions of these fragrances that maybe do certain ones and don't do others. So, if I'm trying to find out more about Killian's, or maybe I think it's called Black Phantom or something, right? Like that's how I came about this Dua brand, right? I was really curious about that. I've heard a lot about it, and once again, look, I'm learning, right? So I'm right now, I'm probably at about 50 bottles. So right, so I'm going to talk to you about all of them. I've put a lot of dents in them, learning about kind of really what I enjoy. And I look, I'm not here to collect. I'm not a collector. I'm someone who likes to use them. I like to really go out in the world. I like to be able to show up, in the world. I just enjoy taking care of myself, and so this is part of that process. So, I'm not into the collector side. I mean, there are people who like to collect bottles, keep things on their shelves. That's not me. I like to actually use fragrance. I like to use it because it's part of the message that I'm sending out to the world, and just part of who I am. So anyway, all right. So let's get to the point. Dua. The first one that I bought is called His Inspiration, which is a take on Chanel Allure Home Sport, I think it is. Yeah. And so that's what it is, the Chanel Allure Home Sport. This is the apparently this is an older inspiration of an older, much stronger version of that. Hopefully it's in focus there. It's I'm telling you, I'm impressed. You can see I've used a little bit of it, but it's pretty strong. I could definitely say that. I've sprayed it on. It sits beautifully, like this lemon, vanilla, not lemon, but as much as kind of definitely kind of a lemony vanilla. Sits beautifully. Really does project well. I could definitely see using this for the office. It's definitely office safe. As it gets warmer, I'm definitely going to be using this. I could definitely see myself, wearing this with a nice golf shirt, slacks, some shoes, right? Spray this on. This is an easy reach. So now that I'm so what I've done, I've essentially kind of taken a lesson learned, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about kind of how I kind of got more focused, because what I see a lot is people just go out and buy hype stuff, and they're buying stuff without really a plan, right? And for me, I did that. I'm guilty of it. So don't feel bad. And thank goodness that the ones I bought, I actually enjoyed them. There was maybe one or two I was like, all right, you know what, these are a little too young for me and probably fit best, and I gave them to my sons. So they love them. Cool. Just wasn't for me. And then I got a little bit more focused. But so anyway, what I do is when I buy stuff, I take maybe 20-30 milligrams of it, and I put it in a bottle. I put kind of what it's inspired by. I put the name of what I bought, so that way I'm much more focused, right? I'm like, all right, if I'm buying stuff that's inspired by, let's say, Creed, or by PDM, or by Chanel, right? Like I'm putting them together, right? Because if you try to, like, my God, like all these bottles are like, they're from, Middle East, or they're from different, fragrance houses. And just nothing blends, right? It's chaotic. It looks like chaos to me. It's like too much, man. I'm like, nah, bro. It looks like it looks like something out of a movie, man. It's like it would be too much. So I take them, I put them in a much more clear bottle, put stickers on them, very clear. I group things together, right? Because I want to know, what am I using more of? Am I using more of the stuff that's inspired by Creed? Am I using more of stuff that's inspired by Louis Vuitton type, fragrances? Am I using stuff that's more like PDM, right? So, and also now, what that does for me is when stuff comes out, and they're hyping it, I'm like, all right, well, what's it inspired by, right? And if it's inspired by something that I haven't even heard about, or haven't really even bought one of, or anything, right? I'm like, all right, look, I'm learning. I'm really seeing that I'm using a lot of the LV stuff. I'm using a lot of the Creed stuff. Maybe I want to learn more about that, right? Maybe I want to find more stuff that's inspired by those type of fragrances, right? Like, so I'm not just buying, like, that kind of slowed me down a bit. And also, I mean, I bought a lot of samples, so I want to I'm definitely going to talk to you about that, and talk to you about my system, so that way, as you're growing, you're going through your journey. Yes, love buying stuff, I love sampling stuff, but it's also, I'm much more focused, right? Because I don't want to spend for the sake of spending. I want to spend because it's part of my growth. It's part of taking care of myself. It's part of how I'm showing up in the world. And so I definitely encourage you to do the same, so that because you're learning about scents, but not you're not just learning about fragrances. You're learning about yourself, right? Like, you're learning about, what is it that you enjoy smelling like? What is the message that you're trying to send out to the world? Because, look, and each situation is different. You might be going to a movie. Not a movie. I'm sorry, a meeting. Who the hell goes to movies anymore? I don't know. You might be going to a meeting, so you want to show up a certain way. You might be going to a family function. You're going to show up a certain way, right? And you want to find the right fragrance for that. You might be just, going out for a ride, going for a dinner date, family function, conference, whatever, right? Like, you're moving through the world. So how are you showing up? So today is a Sunday. Doing this car review, I guess, or car sense. And so the one that I'm using today, it's once again, you can see it there. You can see it there. It's it sits beautifully. Definitely, I'm going to check out this house. I heard a lot of good things about it. The only thing that really stopped me really from buying more, I don't know. I'll check them out. I'll see how this performs and whether it holds up. But I really do enjoy buying my 100 milliliters of, like, the bigger bottles, right, of stuff, because I feel like I get more for my value. But let's see how this holds up, because what they sell is kind of these size bottles, which is cool. I mean, like, they're like, like I said, if you're getting them, do not buy during the week, because they're like $50-$60. I would never pay that. But if you could get it for $30-$40, all right, that's cool. Once again, I'm like, all right, I could get a 100 milliliter bottle for, you know, the same price, but are you getting quality, right? So this apparently is it's high oils, a high concentration, and so that's cool. There are other perfume houses that I'm going to talk to you about that you're going to enjoy. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Carlos Morales, you know, this is my car sense. All right, have a good one.